All right, guys, it's that time again. We're playing against the Tafuna Jets. Remember, they beat us last time. We better win this one. That's all I can say. We're going to keep with our balanced mentality instead of doing anything positive. And I don't care how tired they look because we have something like 2 weeks off after this one. This is back to the weird schedule that we've run into here for the past 3 seasons. So, yeah, let's go out there and get some revenge on these guys. We should never have lost to them to begin with. And so it goes. You know, this would have been a pretty boring season, a pretty boring thing to follow if we'd been winning every match. It's a lot more fun when we lose every now and then to teams that are really bad. And the Tafuna Jets are not good. We should be able to win this match, I think, pretty handedly. We're still in 4th place. A win here would be big because it would propel us into 2nd place, and then we have to hope the Lionheart lose. Now, I do have plans to bring the Lionheart striker who's scoring all their goals over to our squad. And so if we can stay in the title race for long enough, we might just be able to sabotage them and come up with some sort of victory and make it exciting. But we'll see what happens here. And first of all, we do have to beat the Tafuna Jets. And that does mean getting used to the tactic that I've recently changed and that we've had so many videos talking about. So, I mean, let's see what happens. Of course, they have the ball, and it's kind of hard for us to score when they have it. Atu is back over to Kaleopa. Kaleopa, who had me pretty upset last time, passes over to Milani, then to Maile. Maile just takes us up by himself and walks up and shoots and scores. I'm not quite sure how that was that easy. I mean, you think that if it's that easy to score, we do that every time. Now, Maile, right now, as you saw yesterday, we've got him in the poacher role, and maybe he likes this role better. I don't know. I mean, he just took the ball and ran up and shot and scored. So is that what a poacher does? I thought that the poacher was supposed to like hang out up top in the box and wait for the ball. Instead, he took it up and just ran up and scored with it. So whatever, Twalolele with it, playing in that defensive midfielder role, and he lumps one forward looking for someone or other, and he finds absolutely nobody. And boy, that's a good tackle there by Palipua, and it's passed up to Maile, who's behind the defense again and scores again. I think he's offside. Nope, no flag up on that side. And so it looks like they're going to allow that to happen. And that's his 2nd goal. And hey, maybe we were onto something by turning him into a poacher. I mean, wow. I had no idea that this sort of thing would happen in the end. But look at that shot. And Maile looks awesome. So maybe there is something to be said for looking and seeing what the player himself wants to play at and telling him to do it. It's difficult, and I've told you it's difficult because we're playing hardcore mode, which is what happens when you're really pig-headed like I am, and you demand that you don't want to have any star ratings or anything like that. You want to do it the real way, and that's what we've tried to do. Palipua over to Kaleopa to Tiatia. Tiatia back over to Palipua. Passes back to Tiatia over to Rock. Rock with it, and he is dispossessed from behind. I think that's Rock. Yeah, this is Robert here. Robert passes forward to Maile. And he does what he's supposed to do. He just gets the ball into range and takes a shot. So we almost got a 3rd goal out of that, despite looking a little bit less than perfect. Atu now with it. Atu over to Twalolele to Rock. Rock is a very, very good player, and he lumps this one forward for Atu. We got a guy. Maile's way offside. I'm not sure if he knows what he's doing. Atu was apparently offside as well. I think we had about half of our club was offside there. And we're definitely letting them know what we intend to do. Maile wins this one. He's a poacher. What is he doing all the way back there? I don't know. I don't know if he himself knows how the rules work, but whatever. This is a lump forward for Maile. Is over to Milani, who almost scores the 3rd goal, and that was pretty good. That was pretty good. This looks like a much different team than what we saw in yesterday's match. Famoana heads this over to Tiata back to Palipua. Palipua lumps it forward again for Maile, who is looking for Robert, who stopped running. Robert would have had that if he kept going, and instead he just gives up possession like there's nothing to it, and now we have let them in behind us, and this is going to be a problem. Ooh, Hangy Pulley with an excellent save on that one. He passes forward to Milani over to Atu, and look at this. We've got numbers. We have numbers, and Atu, oh, what a pass to Maile. Oh, man, what a pass that was. And he put that one right behind the defense, and unfortunately the shot was a little bit too high. I think that Maile was a little bit surprised to find the ball in front of him. There's Walter Assam. We remember him, and he passes that ball to nobody. Walter Assam is supposed to be a defender. I'm not sure what he's doing playing all the way up there. I don't know. I'm happy he's not on our side anymore. Hangy Pulley with this passes down to Famoana. Famuana brings this up laterally, and he's looking for Maile, and he doesn't even come close to finding him. There's Famuana with it again over to Tualolele. He's got Atu over to Maile, and he's fouled from behind. This is going to be a penalty. Maile is going to take it, and that's a yellow card. Sipa a little bit lucky that wasn't a straight red. Maile scores his hat trick on 16 minutes. Goal number 21 of the season, and he's going to be today's player of the match. Pretty much no matter what happens. We're up 3-0 on the Tafuna Jets, and we're not even 20 minutes into this match. And so I think the tactical changes have worked fairly well. And we'll see what we can do to continue with the positive vibes and energy. Ikuvalu passes to Famuana. Famuana now with the ball over to Tualolele. Lumps it forward to Atu. Atu takes it and launches up a shot. And you can tell that Atu wants to be on the scores list after having all that time off because of his injury. And unfortunately, this one just didn't quite work out for him. He had this burst of steam, but the defender was still able to get onto it. If Atu would be a little bit less selfish with it and pass a little bit more, a little bit of a lumping cross, any kind of cross, probably would have resulted in another goal. Maile here tries to get another header and almost scores once again. Boy, he loves just sitting back there and waiting for the ball to come to him, doesn't he? This is lumped forward to Tiatia. Tiatia has it over to Famuana. Famuana brings it up left side, passes over to Tualolele, finds Atu. Atu looking for Maile, and it doesn't quite work out. That was a little bit more like it, though, from Atu, but it would be nice if he would hesitate just a little bit more. Tualolele wins this one over to Tiatia, over to Rock with it. Rock over to Robert, and there's the cross, and unfortunately it goes straight at the defender. But this time Atu finds Maile in a good spot, and it's a good shot on goal. And so we are peppering the goal with shots. This is a little bit more like how I was expecting us to play yesterday. And unfortunately, it didn't quite happen yesterday. But then again, we're still getting used to the tactic. We're getting used to the ideas. It's not fully different from what we were doing before, but it's different enough. And so let's see if we can win, get a couple more goals. It's going to be Atu here with the free kick. And he's going to shoot from here, surely, and he does, and he comes very, very close to putting that one into the top corner. That required a really good save from the goalkeeper. That doesn't look like an amateur-level save, man. That was pretty good. Kalliopa just doesn't find Maile. It's just a little bit short, and that's a little unfortunate because that was a good idea. The other Asan with it, I'm not sure what K stands for. Atu ends up winning it in the end over to Hangi Poli, and he gives it up over to the defender, and it's going to be Paneta Careza who scores the goal. That was really, really poorly played by Hangi Poli, who has the ball here. And what does he do? He tries to pass it, and he doesn't even try to pass it. He just stands there with it and picks his nose. And we've given up a goal that we really shouldn't have given up, and it's unfortunate. We should have done a little bit better than that. Hangi Poli is going to be just fine in the long term, but we need to do a little bit better than that from match to match. That was pretty poor in defense, and so we'll see what we can do. Everybody feels a little pressured by the feedback, as well they should. We shouldn't be giving up goals to this team, and that was a really, really poor effort. Palipua here with the ball over to Tualolele. It was a poor pass. Tualolele with it. He knocks this forward for Atu. Atu's got it in space, and he knocks it over for Kalliopa. And his header is well placed, but can't get quite past the goaltender. It's Palipua here with the ball, going the wrong way over to Hangi Poli, now to Afa Famuana. Over to Tualolele, finds Rock. And I'm getting really used to this squad. Here's Robert with it. And he knocks that one forward for Maile, who scores. This is number 4 for Maile in this match. He's onside. Brilliant goal. Very, very good move. And he's had 4 goals here in the first half, and he just looks like he's totally on fire. And, we're making it look easy here. We're making it look like, there's nothing to it. Kalliopa here with it. And it was Robert with the great centering pass, and Maile just looks for that ball and will head it on in, knock it on in. Somebody was asking me if he scores any goals from headers. This was a couple of weeks ago, I think, and he does. You just saw one right there. And this is knocked forward for Ikuvalu, who grabs it and falls down for no reason. Ikuvalu passes it over to Tiatia. Tiatia lumps this forward looking for Milani, and it's not a particularly good pass. Ends up with Rock. Rock over to Maile, who tries to shoot from the middle of nowhere, and that ends up being knocked back and out for a throw. And so we're up 4-1, and we're in control here, and this is a little bit better. This makes me feel better about changing the tactic. Maile with it. Ooh, what a good pass to Atu. Atu's he should return the pass. Instead, it ends up with Rock Kalliopa, whose shot is knocked back, and they're going to say Maile was offside. I think it was actually Atu who was offside, but whatever. We won't waste a lot of energy trying to correct the virtual referees. And it's Awesome who knocks this forward for them. We're able to win this back. This is going to be the end of the first half here, but Atu has another chance. And he just misses that. He just missed that. That's Robert Calliope again with another really, really good cross. And so, making the changes that we made to the tactic, I think, have helped. And I think that the problem that we had in yesterday's match, and maybe even the match before, is that these players were playing in roles that they just don't like or don't want or are not really well equipped to play in. Tia here with the ball, who finds Calliope. Calliope back to Tia over to Rock, and he takes a shot, which is what we wanted to do, but ends up doing just about nothing. So we'll see what happens here. They have the ball about 48 minutes here into this match, and we're going to have to see if we can't win it off of them here. It's Sipa who lumps this forward, and it ends up with Caressa again with nobody around him, and that's really poor from Ikuvalu. Ikuvalu really, really needs to be able to stop that one. He should have been able to get around onto that, and this is pretty ridiculous. It's poorly played by our defense. Hengi Poli, I think he actually won that header, but where's Palipua? Who has any idea? And Ikuvalu just kind of is flopping around, doesn't really know what he's doing. And that's what he's done. I mean, we know that there have been problems with him since we started starting him in goal. And so that's what happens. I mean, you find a guy who isn't like totally inconsistent and, doesn't know how to play in the big match. And he ends up just not having the quality needed. But he's only 18, I think. So it might work out for him in the end. It's Caressa again over to Moe. And Hengi Poli wins that one over to Maele, over to Rock. This is another forward ball played for Moe, and Palipua wins it over to Ikuvalu. And Ikuvalu then takes this up, finds Hengi Poli. We've only had a couple of seconds go by here. Famoana with it now. And he is going to pass over to Calliope, over to Rock over to Maile. And Maile is just going to score this one. I think he's onside. Yep, flag stays down. Number 5 for Maile. It's that easy. 5 goals for Toa Maile. And Toa Maile has completely dominated this match, and I think that he's a poacher. I mean, he just gets the ball there. Doesn't need to worry about passing. He just takes it up to the goal and shoots and scores. And he's done that from both sides. He's done that from all sorts of angles. He's done it using his head. I think he's done it using both feet. He might get 2 hat tricks in this game. Poli runs over and grabs this one, prevents it from going out. We could slow it down a little bit if we wanted to. Calliope over to Robert. Robert over to Milani. Milani to Atu. Atu finds Milani again, and Milani is going to find Tualolele and goes back to Tualolele, who tries to dump it over to Maile. That was a pretty poor play by Tualolele. He doesn't really know what he's doing. Hengi Poli fouls his man and then gets the ball. He went after the man instead of the ball, and he's going to be punished for it, but it's Tiatia who wins this one in the end. And the shot from the Tafuna Jets ends up over everybody's head. And so nothing to worry about. Nothing negative happened there. Walter Assam here throws it in. And we're going to win this ball or what? We do kind of, and it's a shot that's over everybody's head and over the goal. They have a whole bunch of wide-scale changes, and I'm not too surprised that they're feeling a little bit upset about what they're seeing. This is not a particularly good match from them. We're not going to put Milo Calliope in for Palipua. Palipua can stay out there. He's a big boy. He knows how to play the full match. And this ball is lumped up and forward again. So they've had a number of chances here on goal that have been a little bit too close for comfort. Here we go. We have it with Tiatia now. He throws over to Tualolele, to Milani. Milani back to Famoana. That was actually a pretty good long throw. Over to Atu now. Atu with it. Knocks this one over looking for Calliope. And I don't know if Robert's really the guy that you want to look for in that situation. Here is Robert, though. There you go. And unfortunately, he crosses that one all the way back to Atu, and that was kind of a strange decision by him. I think he's looking for Maile in the middle, but there was too much on that cross. Atu with it now. There's a good cross, and ends up with Rock Calliope, whose shot ends up blocked. That wasn't too bad, though. That was a pretty good idea, and we're still at 5-2. 5 goals so far for Maile. Let's see if we can get number 6. Maybe we should call a set play of some sort. And let's see if we can get this ball back off of them. It's up there with Moy, and I worry that they're going to wind up with a hat trick of their own. And boy, this ends up, they have 2 men down there, and our defense is looking pretty poor. Famoana, they're able to win this one off, and it's knocked all the way back there for Calliope, and Robert not quite fast enough to go win that one, unfortunately for us. This was a little bit scary, though, when they had 2 men out there and they were guarded only by a single Tiatia, who did the best that he could with what he was given. Ekuvalu this time gets the good save, so we can praise him on that performance. And that's what happens when you have younger players. Sometimes they end up a little bit confused, a little bit out of sorts. Palipua allows his man in behind him, and Moy says there at the bottom that he needs a little bit more luck. I don't think there was much luck involved there. He got his luck. He needed some skill. And there's Loke, who's behind the defense. They need to call that for offside because he's too far behind everybody, and it's Moy who misses again. Walter Hassan will come off for them, and we have about 15 minutes left in this match. I don't think that we're really in danger of losing this, but you never know what happens. And we've lost more than our share of matches recently as Milani heads that one out. Here comes the next corner. I'm not sure if they're playing near post or far post. They're probably playing somewhere in the middle because there's nobody even close to the ball. And it ends up going back to where Hangi Poli runs after it. And so that's going to be the end of that. Yeah, this was a little bit challenging. They keep attacking that left side there, and I'm not sure why we're giving up so much space on the left side. I think that they've been throwing more men forward is what I think happens. And Ekuvalu, thankfully, is able to grab onto that one. The one thing I'm going to say is that with all of the changes that we have out there, especially from Dave INCID, I think that what it's done is it's made the computer a little bit more aggressive, because normally with a vanilla Football Manager, you don't see the computer attack this much. Usually it gives up after a little while. It's going to be Loke for them, who puts the ball over in a good crossing position. Twala Lele narrowly avoids fouling, and he has to be careful he doesn't get sent off. And man, this looks like it's a rivalry match. They have really, really been attacking, and they're trying to pass more directly, I suppose, and that's probably what's helping them out. And they have our players running around back and forth, and we don't know what to do. We've given up probably about 10 corners here in the last couple of minutes. And fortunately for us, we haven't given up any goals off of these corners, but they've completely dominated the match and are dominating possession. Atu heads this one out, which is good, but he doesn't head it out far enough. And if you play with fire, you're going to get burned. And fortunately, we don't get burned that time around. Palipua is about to fall over and collapse. Moy with a shot that goes over everybody's head, and it comes to nothing. And here's Palipua, who kicks it up to Famoana. Famoana finds Atu. Yes, he does. And Atu with the cross, looking for Maele in a good position. And was a little bit too fast with the trigger, I think, on that cross. Didn't need to be that quick about it. Tiatia wins it. Tiatia over to Twala Lele, who doesn't find Robert. And this is knocked all the way back to Hangi Poli, who's really coming to his own lately. Famoana now with it. Walks it up, finds Atu. There's Atu with it. There it is to Milani. Milani is going to take a shot. Interesting, he takes a shot there instead of trying for the cross. And that ends up being blocked. And so we have another life. Atu here with the corner. Far post, and Poli just not quite able to get onto it. I don't think he's really tall enough to take those, to be on the receiving end, I should say, of those. And so let's see if we can win the ball back off of them. Loke with it, and they've got men in position, and they've got numbers. And fortunately, I think we're going to be able to get enough guys to prevent something bad from happening. This guy, Nalisi, if he wants to do that, he can do that all he wants. That wasn't much of a shot. And here's Atu, who lumps this one forward looking for Palipua and just can't find him. And there's another Assam. They've had 3 players surnamed Assam here at one point in time or another, and it makes it kind of confusing. That's what happens, though, when you're here in American Samoa. You think that's bad. Wait until we go to Vietnam. We still are unable to get the ball off of much of anybody. Moy's way offside. He's got to be called, got to be flagged for that, and they're not going to count that. Yeah, he's way offside, and we can take a look at this again, but this was pretty obvious. Good job by us with the high defensive line to force them into an offside position, and so it's worked pretty well. And here's Tiatia with it, lumps it forward, and there's nobody there. It was a good idea, though, and it could have been number 6 there for Maele, but he might be content with his 5. This is lumped on forward for Loke, and Tiatia is able to get back in time. And, Famoana ends up winning this one over to Maele, finds Milani. Milani is going to look for Maele again. He goes over to Atu. Atu. Oh, man, that's over to Robert, who grabs it, and he knocks that forward looking for Maele. And you can see they have 2 guys around Maele at all times. That's the reason why he's finally calmed down a little bit. Loke with this, and he's wide open. And, man, that was really, really good play there by Tiatia, who managed to get back and throw himself in front of the shot. And helped out Ekuvalu, who, again, is sprawling all over the place, doesn't know where he's going, whether he's going up, down, left, or right. Hangi Poli knocks this one out of the danger zone. and ends up back to Milani, who knocks it up and out, and they're going to call offside, and Moe was offside barely. So it's sort of offside you wouldn't really see called in real life. But yeah, I do want to see this again. You can see Tiatia coming in from the middle of nowhere and just barely saves it. And that's what you do. That's one of those hockey defenseman plays where you dart yourself, throw your body in front of the puck as soon as it's shot. And let's see what happens. This has been a much longer match this time than yesterday's. Yesterday's felt like it only took a couple seconds because nothing happened, and we've had a lot of somethings happening today. Calliope over to Tiatia. Tiatia lumps it forward looking for Maile, and he passes back to Rock over to Robert. Ooh, that was a good forward pass for Maile. He just didn't see it on time. That's going to be the end of the match. And so we win this one 5-2. That's a little bit more like it. 26 shots, 13 on target, 3.02 XG. We didn't dominate the possession as much as we should have because they kept creating stuff there near the end. But it doesn't really matter that much. Overall, our stats look really good, and we had a lot of good performances. And I like the looks of these things, and I think that this tactic might work in the end after all. Talk to you later. Bye.